Hey guys, welcome to Brotherhood Forged.
I'm Joey, and hanging with me is my buddy Paul.
We're just two normal guys following Jesus and trying to lead our families well.
We started this to build a place for real talk, real growth, and real brotherhood.
If you're about faith, leadership, and showing up when it's tough, you're in the right spot. If you like what you hear, hit the share button or leave a review. It helps way more than you know.
Let's get into it. Welcome back, guys and gals. This is another special episode of Brotherhood Forged, another brief. And we're going to be focusing on Paul today again, but it's a little bit more specific. By the time you will be listening to this on Monday, Paul will be a daddy from 2 days ago. But at the time we're actually recording it is Friday night, and Paul is in Amber. Amber is getting induced tomorrow, not Paul. So they're pretty exciting. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Conversation is going to be about hope, healing, and the quiet work God does in the waiting. In the next episode, which will be coming out on Wednesday, we're going to talk about God's timing, how his plan often unfolds, through the pain we never asked for. But today, it's kind of part 2 of Paul's story, but it's just going to be a brief and what it means to prepare your heart for fatherhood again. And we'll just open up with a little prayer here. Heavenly Father, first of all, I just want to thank you for Paul and Amber. God, Paul's influence, not only on me, but on other men, and the value he gives to the community, his caring heart, his integrity, Lord. I'm just grateful for that. God, I ask you to watch over Amber tomorrow as she is induced to, Lord, just to have the pregnancy be as pain-free as possible and without any complication. Lord, I just ask you to have your hand on them both and on Sawyer and Breslin as well. They're going to be sisters again, God. So we just thank you for this opportunity to be here today, Lord, and just ask you to watch over them tomorrow. I ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. You got the Bible verse. We're going to jump up right over to you, and then we'll jump right in.
All right. Before we get to that, I got to say I did laugh when I was listening back, because I do listen, because I'm very critical of how we do things. So I listen to try to see how I can get better and word things more efficiently. I was laughing in the beginning. We were like, Paul, welcome back. And thanks for having me.
I'm so goofy.
I thought it was awesome though, because obviously we talk so much that it's funny just to hear us talk hey, thanks for having me. Welcome back. It's like, who else are you going to have, bro? We're not that big. We just got each other.
We don't have guests yet. One day we might do some guests, but not yet. Yeah. But it's real.
I'm
not cutting that stuff out.
Hey, I liked it. It made me chuckle, so it was good. So our Bible verse is Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This one is near and dear for this story, obviously. I mean, I remember, and I'll even say it was my group chat with my buddies Gavin and Percy when I first found out the news when we had lost the baby before all this took place, and we'll get into that too. In good heart, and they meant well. They were talking about this verse specifically, and there's another one in there too about trying to lift me up. And man, I was in such a bad place that I couldn't even hear it when they said it. I wasn't open-minded enough to it at that point, because I was so confused and so hurt in the process too that I was like, I don't know. It just wasn't the time to hear it. And now I look back and I really do appreciate what they had said that moment. And then you and Ed and the guys that we have in our group. Well, I don't know. We don't really have that anymore, but it was still there.
It was there at the time.
It was there at the time.
Yep.
And it's not to get too far ahead, but that was the stuff that really helped kind of get me back into it, man. Because I was shutting out quite a bit, and I was really turning myself away from a lot of stuff. And you guys kept shining lights back in there. Same with Gavin, same with Percy. So it was good to have that. And one thing it did though is it opened my eyes back to my faith and the relationship that I have with God. It just reminded me that this wasn't God's doing. This is kind of one of those things that I couldn't see at the time, the ultimate picture that was taking place. And obviously that's tomorrow when we had this baby. So it was just one of those things where I couldn't see ahead. I could only see the darkness that was around me. And it just reminded me now to look back on that and know that God's with us through those times. And it doesn't mean that it's going to make it go away, but we have to focus. We get to choose what we focus on. At that time, I was so focused on the wrong stuff.
I remember it well. You were withdrawn. I didn't know what was going on at first. I knew something was not Paul. It's a tough time. Bobby and I went through a similar thing 28 years ago or so. It's hard, for sure. We're never going to really understand why. We're never going to understand why. Not why we're here. But when we're broken, it's easy to push everybody away and God, but what we really need to do, and I think what you learned, was you need to pull him closer,
Mhm.
right? Because pain, it's not a sign of being spiritually frail, but it's when God, his presence shows up the strongest. At least that's what I found.
Well, it's a lot about like what you focus on too, and it reminds me like the book Outwitting the Devil and stuff like that. It's not to turn this from complete good to bad or dark to good, dark to light, but you get to choose. And in that moment, I wasn't choosing to bring God closer to me. I was so upset and so crushed and confused that I was going not in like an opposite direction, but like I didn't you take that choice to pull him closer. And I missed the opportunity that I now see as like I should have earlier. But it's so hard when you're in that moment to really call yourself forward and allow people to call you forward and say, okay, I need to take a step toward my faith when something really confusing happened. It's hard, but I don't know. I think it's the right thing to do. I just didn't see it at the time.
And here you are, full circle, 1 year later. Well, more than a year later. So we're just going to jump into some questions because this is a brief. When you first found out this time, we talked a little bit about this in the last episode. You're going to be a dad again. What emotions came up having, what had happened a year ago? What went through your mind?
So the first time a year ago, we were coming back from spring break, and when we found out she was pregnant, she was gonna have surgery that when they told her she'd have this, basically that she wouldn't be able to carry a baby afterwards. So we were kind of coming to terms with that okay, this is what our family looks like, and we're happy. Like we love our children, we love our family, and it's cool. This is what we want it to be. We always wanted 3 kids, but we were okay with where it was at. As we drew closer to that surgery, it got scarier because it's like it takes that decision out of your hands. And not that it's always our decision anyway, because I think God obviously plays such a huge part in that. But it's like, okay, knowing that she got close to that was like, all right, well, this is our reality. It kind of sunk in even more. So when we found out she was pregnant that time, it was crazy. Like we were obviously grateful, excited, a little bit confused because we're like, wait a minute, like we were good. We were only gonna have 2 kids. Now we're gonna have 3. So then obviously she delayed that surgery. And then we'll talk more in the full episode on this one too. But then we found out we lost that baby, and that's when I got in such a dark place. But then I had to realize is that it gave us the chance for this third baby, or well, technically fourth baby. It gave us the chance to try again, and we weren't going to have that chance had that not taken place. So we really challenged ourselves to look at the baby that we lost as kind of like this opportunity in the darkness. Like it gave us the chance to try again. It's weird to frame it that way, but had we not gone through that, we wouldn't have the chance to be less than 12 hours away from possibly having or probably having our next baby. So long-winded answer to that, but it's like we'll go further into it on the conversation. But there's so much to unpack that it was like then when it finally happened, we're like, oh, thank goodness. But then it was so stressful because of what had just happened that I remember there were nights where I barely slept because I was praying so much to make sure that the numbers were going up on the baby, that everything was doubling the way it was supposed to go. And it's like it was very stressful and exciting and hopeful, but also like we couldn't forget what had taken place. So it was hard to be fully excited, I guess.
Was there a point you felt like during this pregnancy, you felt, okay, I'm comfortable now? Or have you ever felt that during this one, having lost the baby last time? Was there a point where you said, okay, I think we're on, in a good place?
We've tried. Like my most honest answer is we've tried. And
I
when we
can
were,
imagine.
yeah, when we were at the last appointment, not the last appointment, more like I think going into our second trimester, I believe the doctor had said to us like, hey, you're kind of at that point now where like the risk goes so far down. But having gone through that and having know people that have gone through way worse scenarios where they've lost babies further along, it's like, gosh, now that I know that, like, because I think a lot of stuff in life you look at, like, it's so tragic and it's so sad. You're like, well, that never happened to me. And then it happens to you. And then you're like, oh my gosh. Like, then you realize how much real it is. And it sounds bad to even say that, right? But it's one of those things where you don't truly understand how bad something can hurt until you go through it. Not that you can't ever not understand or empathize or sympathize with people for it, but it's different when you walk through it. So no, I haven't felt completely comfortable, and I won't until I'm holding that baby on my chest tomorrow. So it's still there. The negative thoughts are still there, obviously.
I can't wait to get that phone call. Just text me tomorrow. I don't expect a phone call. I'm looking forward to that text tomorrow, but I'm really excited for you. So Breslin and Sawyer, they're the big sisters. How are you preparing them to be a big sister? I'm sure this has been a process, but I'm just curious.
Dude, this has been such a process because they've been we don't have a lot of privacy in our house, which is one thing that we like, and there's times when we don't like it, right? Like we want them to understand age appropriate conversations. So we talked about this in the conflict resolution episode there, or conversation we had, where if they see us have conflict, we'll let them also see the resolution of it. We don't hide stuff from them like that as long as we think they're able to handle it. So they've seen from start to finish this whole process, and they were floored when we first told them last year when we were pregnant with the baby that we lost, and they both started crying because they were so excited because they thought the same thing. They thought that was it, and Sawyer never thought she'd have the chance to be a big sister. Brez already had it, so now it's like it's so cool and so exciting to see it come back around for them. And even Brez said today we were on their way home. They're gonna go to my mom's house, my parents' house tomorrow, or we go to the hospital. And Brez was like, when I first see him, I'm gonna be so excited, I'm gonna cry.
Oh,
It just gives you a different perspective. Because yeah, I'm gonna cry, right? But to hear
oh,
her say that, it's just a different level. I think I don't know, it's really sweet, and I'm so glad that we get the chance to give Sawyer the opportunity to be a big sister because she'll do so good at it, and Brez already does. She's gonna be basically a second mother to this kid.
maybe baby brother will give them a reason not to bicker at each other so much.
Oh, dude,
Probably not. That's not going to last forever, but
no, I hope so because they needed a reason not to. They just did it today. They're loving each other. 5 minutes later, they're fighting. It's like, oh my gosh.
that's siblings. Paul, one question I have for you. You went through that time where it was dark for you, and you mentioned how you withdrew, which was obvious to your friends. What kind of helps you open back up again?
The conversations. I think when I finally, because when you put yourself around so many people that care about you, like we have in our friendship, like we still have that. The guys that are not, we don't really talk in that group, but we still talk to those guys. The connection I have with those guys around me. When you have those kind of people in your life, I think they know that you're going to be in a dark place, and they allow it to kind of work its course a little bit, but they don't give up on you. And they continue to, I don't want to say badger you, but they continue to hit that flashlight on you and keep shining it and keep shining it until eventually you let them in with it. And it took time for me to finally realize that I had to open up about it because it kind of became a thing where I knew I was in a weird spot. I was kind of in a funk, saying quite why I was feeling the way I was feeling. But it started to affect my daily habits. My workouts weren't the same. My nutrition wasn't the same. Like it just kind of poured over into all areas until I finally opened up on it. I was like, man, this is why I've been distant. And I've been mindlessly doing things to avoid the pain that I was feeling. And a couple of guys had actually said that to me. They're like, you're kind of numbing through this, man. You're not actually handling it or processing it. You're finding other ways to cope with it. So my long-winded answer is have the right people in your life that'll keep hitting you at that light until you can allow yourself to see it.
That's what we preach. I mean, on this podcast, right? We talk about this kind of thing all the time. So we live it. We don't just talk about it. We do live it, but we're human. So we go through the hard times too. We still struggle. It's not like it's just not magic, but having those key people and in place, and those people that you surround yourself with that love you and that care about you it's everything.
Another piece of that too, man, is Amber, right? Like when we were going through that, obviously she went through all the physical part of it, right? I went through the mental, emotional part of it that kind of drained through my physical part because I got relaxed on my habits. But that was actually her going through the physical part of it. And I could recall Granger Smith's story when his son passed away, and even Larry's story when they lost a baby. And the common things that really stuck out to me in those moments were that the spouses were so aligned and they had talked, and not to compare my situation to theirs or mine to anybody else's, but they were on the same page where it was like, no matter what happens, we will get through this together. And we took that same stance that was like, we're together. No matter how we're feeling, we're going to make sure we're together. We're going to make sure we're taking care of each other, shining a light at each other where we can. Like, so having that kind of, I don't know, recommitment to each other through that moment really helped me quite a bit. And like you said there too, man, it's like, if you notice a friend going through something, don't lit up on them. You don't have to push them away, but if you can shine a light on them, keep shining that light. And if your friends are doing that to you, listen to what we say and what I didn't do earlier, and allow yourself to open up to them. We've talked about that several weeks in a row now, especially on our calls too. It's like we can't preach our friends to tell us if they're okay or not okay, and then not be willing to do the same. You have to have that kind of back and forth between your friendship where if I expect you to tell me you're not okay, I should still tell you if I'm not okay as well. I can't just expect you to do it, not do it myself.
Walking the walk. that Granger Smith story. His son was River. Is that correct? I'd first heard him on Larry's podcast. Then I bought his book, and now I follow him on socials. And that loss actually brought him closer to God, losing a son. And now he's stepped away from country music, and he's pretty much going to be full-time ministry in his own way. It's a pretty amazing story. We'll have to have him on our podcast sometime. Hey, the sky's the limit, man. I'm a believer.
I think so too.
I'd love to have him. That's the kind of people that I would love us to break bread with.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, that story, all of it. And then the moment where we talked about how you got closer to God, that one, man, that's one that you got to be ready to hear, because I think so many of us can relate different times of our life where we're in a dark place, maybe not as dark as that one, or like negative thoughts, whatever it is. But to listen and hear him talk about where he was at, dude, it can be such a reality for so many people, but then it can go differently too. So it's a matter of like, I don't know, trusting, believing, taking the right steps.
Yeah.
But it was deep.
We'll definitely be tagging Granger Smith. If you're listening to this, we appreciate you, brother. You had mentioned that you wrote a couple of short letters to your daughters, because hopefully one day, maybe they'll listen to them this week, but this will be something they can look back on just as they're going to be sisters of a brand new brother. So if you want to share those, I think that'd be pretty appropriate right now.
Yeah. They're so supportive and encouraging for everything we do. Like, they always want to be a part of it, and they like to listen to it. And actually, it's funny. I walked in the bedroom the other day, and they were watching us on YouTube.
Were they really?
They were. And I heard our voices as I was walking up the stairs, and I'm like, who's listening to that? And then I saw them watching it on the TV. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. Like, that's part of why we do this, right? Like, the legacy piece of it, and just getting out there. And I think it's cool to show them what you can do and what can become possible from getting out of your comfort zone.
That makes me smile, bud.
It's cool.
I feel like I know him now, and I've been seeing him twice, like in person, but I see him on video, of course, every time we're on just about. So,
oh yeah,
floor is yours, man.
Appreciate it. All right. Hey, Brez, you've always been such a light in our family, and I want you to know how proud I am of the girl you're becoming. Mom and I both are. As our family gets ready to grow, I know you're going to be an incredible big sister again, because you already lead with so much love, kindness, and heart. Even when things feel a little different at home, I'll always make time for you. You're my first baby girl, and you'll always have a special place in my heart. Mom's as well. We love you more than you'll ever know. Love, Dad.
Wow. That's so meaningful, dude. That's so special. I bet it's hard for you to read those without having just a little bit of a tear drip down your face.
It is.
It's hard for me to hear it.
Well, so many emotions and so many memories come back into that. Because as I talk about her being our first baby girl, like, you go back to the first moments, like when you became a dad for the first time, and it is special, man. It's one of those things where, and I talked about it that one time. It's like the love that you have for when you have more than one kid. You're just like, how can I possibly do that? And then you just do, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could love this much. Like, or even just kids in general. Like, the level of love you have for your kids is just, to me, I don't know. It's just really heartwarming, inspiring.
Yeah, it is. Carry on.
Hey, Soy, you're such a sweet girl and a strong part of our family. Mom and I love the way you laugh, explore, and love big. As we get ready to welcome your new baby brother, we know it's a baby brother now. I want you to know nothing will change how much we love you. You'll always be our little girl, and I will always be your dad. I'm excited to watch you become a big sister. You've got so much love to give, and I know your new sibling is going to be so lucky to have you. You'll always be seen, and you'll always be loved. Always. Love, Dad.
Have you announced his name to anyone? I don't want to spoil it here.
Oh no, it's out there. Yeah,
it is out there.
Yeah. So full name Theodore, but he's already gonna have so many little names. It's cute because Soy's missing some of her front teeth. So when she says Theodore, it's Theodore. So it's like missing the O part of it, but they want to call him Theo, Teddy, TJ, because Theodore John. We may end up going Theodore John Paul. We're not sure yet. He's gonna have so many nicknames. It's cool. We're excited for him, man. We already got some personalized stuff as gifts with his name on it.
You got a lot of options with Theodore. You can go a lot of different ways. Well, this is a brief. Sorry to cut you off there, Paul. But we're going to be over 20 minutes, but that's fine. We don't really have exact time limits on anything. I had 8 questions for Paul. I got through 2 because sometimes we talk a lot. The next episode is going to be about God's timing. And ironically, this morning I had led a Bible study for men on God's timing. Paul had no idea of that, right?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. He texted me and said, hey, you want to do the next brief, which is this one on God's timing? And we're both like, well, I think we can get a full episode on that easily. He didn't know I did one this morning on it, so it was extremely appropriate. Of course, it matches up with what Paul's experiencing right now as well. So once again, God's timing, that's the way it works. So we'll tease it for the next one. I just gave it. If you ever wondered why God delays or why he allows pain, you're going to want to tune in on Wednesday. We're talking about divine timing, real life stories, both Paul and I, and how to trust God when life feels stuck. We've all been there.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it. Kind of a closeout and a call to action. If anything in this one stuck with you, or the next one's kind of speaks to your heart, or if you're experiencing anything difficult right now, just know that you're not alone. God sees you. There is always a plan. It's hard to see it in the moment. Trust me, I was there. Let this season grow you in your character, your faith, and your love. Don't isolate like I did. Don't stay in that valley. Make sure you reach out. Join a brotherhood that can walk with you. Get around some brothers that can really shine that light on you. And if you don't have it, we're here for you too. You can always reach out to Joey and I. You can email us. You can find us on social media. Whatever it is, we're more than happy to help and be a light for you if we can.
And one last plug, we are going to start a weekly newsletter. So if you want to get on that, go to our link tree, which is always in the description, linktr.ee/Brotherhood Forged. And you can put your email address in there. Hope you got that. If not, it's in the description. That's our link tree. There's a link to all of our social media stuff. We're expanding slowly. That's going to be like kind of phase 2 of many. That'll be coming out in early July. Paul's having a baby tomorrow. It's going to be 2 days ago when you hear this.
Yep.
We're excited. I'm excited for Paul. I'm excited for the Brotherhood Forged. And hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. We appreciate you.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for the encouragement and support. And keep reaching out. And if you got any feedback for us or any recommendations of where we can go with different episodes, we're happy to hear that. See you guys.
Peace.
Thanks for listening today. We don't take that for granted.
Your support matters. You're part of something much bigger, and we're thankful you're on this journey with us.
Stay strong, stay intentional, and know you're not walking this alone.
If this challenged you, please share the impact. Growth is better together.
We'll see you next time on Brotherhood Forged.